Welcome. Evening. Good night. Good morning. Good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Art Talk. And when we say Art Talk, all gloves off. Yeah? Today, you know who we have right here? Live on Art Talk. It's Corporal Rohan James. Logging back, Sir James. Corporal Rohan James, former chairman of the Jamaica Police Federation and future Prime Minister. The future Prime Minister, you know. Yes? And it's an art talk, you know, when we say art talk, real art talk around here. All gloves off. Yes. Not play with it, all gloves off. Right? All right. So, yeah, man, I don't know. We just have Corporal James just up now. Yes, I'm going to log in back. So, I want to play. I'm going to play one thing about Corporal Rohan James till him log in back now. Yes. So I'm going to play this until him log in back. Right? Corporal Rohan James.
Employ the government, provide us with the resources that we can stir response to duties called. Enough is enough. Every time we are in meetings, we are promised. We are promised monument and that it will be unveiled in the 60th year of our jubilee, where it is broke promises. We are promised that we will be properly remunerated, but yet still we have our Minister of Finance behaving as if we are mendicants on the table. It will not happen on a marriage. We are promised that we will have facilities, but yet still there is not a holistic approach being taken to ensure that the resources are pumped to national security. And then we stand at podiums crying and behaving as if we don't know what we are doing. Enough is enough. We have been promised facilities, but yet we have the incompetencies and the ineptness where environmental impact assessment continues to delay projects that we are supposed to get facilities and aesthetics commensurate with the service, the risk associated with the profession, and it continues to be delayed and nobody is held accountable. Enough is enough. Colleagues, Jamaicans, those in viewership, the hypocrisy that continues, it's unabated. The private sector organization, the Mecca of this country, must underscore and seek to hold those who are elected accountable. I don't play politics. I play for the lives and the well-being of our citizens and our colleagues. And it is time we underscore the importance of Jamaica Vision 2030. We cannot achieve safety without the investment. Lip service, critical will cut it. I am not going to be one that is going to be promised any cabinet secretary post to hold down the truth and let the lies continue to be pervasive in our society. That won't happen on a marriage. So colleagues, family, Alexis, Oliver, you will not be alone in this. You have several fathers and mothers within the constabulary force. We are going to stand for you, with you, in the time of adversity. The Federation will look part of it. That's our solemn commitment to you. And for those who continue to fight in the and to play their game, let me say this. I reminded my colleagues at our central conferences that the PNP means police not promoted, and jail people justice-led police. So today, all I'm simply saying to you, Jamaica must ensure that we hold those who we elect accountable and not to listen to lip service and pretty speeches. Put the resources of our tax dollar to work that we can at least see our children benefit once and for all. My colleague, Oliver Morris, you may have been cut short in your sojourn in service to the citizens of this country, but we acknowledge you even in death. And may your life continue to let light perpetually shine on you. And one day we'll all will be equal and to transform.
Hey, welcome, Rohan James, future Commissioner of Police. How you doing?
Blessings, my brother. Blessings, Sir
Yes.
Win.
Yes.
Blessings to your listeners.
I observe. So we have Rohan here, I will ask the question, and I know say, yeah, this police, you're real police, and I thought something called shaky police. Commissioner, future commissioner. How you doing, sir?
I am blessed. I'm well. I'm doing fine. I believe that I continue to live by the mantra that the pledge is my solemn commitment to the people of Jamaica, where I'll continue to uphold brotherhood and peace and stand for justice in with whatever domain that I'm in. I will continue to stand up and to stand out in the interest of justice.
We see some things going on with you over last year or before. You on the first never see these kind of things, so I have to ask some questions because I'm gonna ask the question first because it's something that go on with you and then put you on suspension because I think I one of these funeral, this same funeral where you speak your truth and speak your peace and your mind. And the commission and them get vexed and put upon some suspension. What's going on with this and this suspension thing?
Sufficing to say that the matter is in the court, and I do intend to take our gloves off to ensure that come November 6th, my legal team will be best prepared to mount a defense in pursuit of justice. I am not one who is going to compromise the citizens' safety, and I will not stand by and allow anyone, be it elected or otherwise. My solemn oath that I've taken is to ensure that I protect and uphold the office of constable and to serve the people of Jamaica. And I will never ever compromise him at the privilege. I will use a favorite quote from Samkar, who he in his quest said that we should not choose wine for a few, but we should choose pure drinking water for everyone. And that is my solemn commitment to those who have vested trust and confidence in my ability to lead them.
So a lot of people in diaspora and in Jamaica, them really concerned. So it asks a lot of things right here. And this more look like it's political motivated. Like, let me ask you something. How me see the government operating now? Because you're an outspoken, you was an outspoken chairman. I don't know why them try to, because when them doing the people, them try to move him from the chairmanship. I'll go observe. So we talk straight on here. And if now give it straight as is. Because we see them go run a chairmanship the other day and I try, boot him from this. And this will come from the hierarchy. And the politician, the national security minister, them have a hand in this too. Like you work for some federal. What's really going on?
Sufficing to say, in my 30th year of service to the people of Jamaica, it is the first that I've ever witnessed so much political interference within the security force. Sufficing to say, I've never sat in any meeting and hear a minister of government telling any member of the constabulary force that they are P&J prior to now. Yes.
So, hold on, you don't say any minister, but that sound like the minister, which minister you refer must the national security minister because of him over the commissioner over, see over the ministry, see over the police, right? He used the word and label.
As a matter of fact, the Minister of National Security, I can say it publicly.
Yes.
Remember, I said all gloves off.
Yes, all gloves off.
The Minister of National Security has said it to me that what he doesn't want to use politics to fight me, but if that is the case, he will. And I've seen since February of 2023 that there's a concerted political quest at my career. But so I am not one who is going to back down and to lay down and play dead. I serve the interests of the people of Jamaica, not political parties.
Mm. I know you also outspoken. There's outspoken police against the police force shot a lot of things, and them used to try to rubbish a lot of these things you say, right? But we see it come to maturity, and we see it in front of us. No vest, no gun, no nothing at all. Even never right, not never right. But you used to come out and talk against these things, but them say you was blind.
The truth must seem like island away. What persons need to underscore is that we are in a situation where our country has emerging threats to national security, and the impediment that lies ahead of us is one that can dampen our progress economically and security-wise. And we have to have persons being held accountable for us to move forward. It cannot be a piecemeal approach. And I've said it openly on a number of occasions, and I've said to persons openly that I don't want persons to be calling me about politics and politicking about what is to be done. I've seen many instances where, as from my vantage point and experience, is that persons will call you seeking to intimidate. Even the matter that led me to be on interdiction now, sufficing to say that it is still unresolved, because even though I'm out, I continue to get calls from persons complaining, and I've seen the numerous missive that has been sent out seeking to downplay the orders of the court and to disregard the orders of the court. I put it squarely at that and leave it at that point, because it is something that is sub judice, part heard before the court. That is where I will present all the evidence to support what it is that I'm alleging.
There is something now. I could talk about the overtime, because our police call me and they were complaining about overtime. Them used to get overtime and them cut it out. Who cut it out and why? Because them say it's helpful, and the force short manpower and everything, More you address that, and more if you address, community policing. And if you be SOE.
You know the truth about it, Wade. I can't even point finger at the Minister of Finance, because from all indication, the orders of the court they was communicated to all the stakeholders. To the best of my knowledge, and what was presented to me formally, was that the Minister of Finance indicated that the sum total required to implement the mechanism and the system, the funds were released to the JCF, and the JCF had a duty of care to ensure that the court order was complied with. And to date, I can say safely that without any fear of contradiction, that even as I speak, that it has not been complied with.
What about the 40-hour the overtime?
The overtime, some members are benefiting. Some are complaining that their hours are not being properly captured and paid for. Mindful though that it was never the federation that contend that a manual system um, was lacking in integrity. It is the Ministry of National Security and the High Command that went to court and testified in that realm that it lacks integrity. The court ordered that a system be put in place, and to date, to the best of my knowledge, there is a non-compliance of the orders of the court. Instead, that persons continue to use a high-handed approach because of their political connectivity to victimize yours truly. But I can live with it. It goes with the punches, and if it is that you are on a rocky road, tough times don't last. Tough people do.
All right. Your views on SOE, if that work,
Um,
community policing, your views on it.
I am a stickler for community policing. I'm a stickler for community policing. Why do I say that? It lends you all the opportunity to involve the citizenry. It also gives you an opportunity to plan ahead of what is happening because you are in the know. It is that you build that level of trust and ensure the trust is placed at a particular level where you can prepare, you can analyze, and you can advance the resources appropriately. The overtime, I must say, it would have given the JCF a great opportunity to be able to deploy the men and women adequately. I have never seen anybody seeking to be the gatekeeper or the finance minister apart from the person who is so designated and appointed, like that which is being now practiced by the high command of the JCF, which is causing an obstacle to the very safety and security of the citizenry of this country. And it is a cause for concern. And the more I watch what is happening, I cannot sit by without lending my voice to the level of ineptness that is taking place, because safety and security is paramount in Jamaica, and we cannot. Every single life counts. Every single life matters. Our brothers and sisters must be protected, and we cannot, at the behest of persons, being the gatekeeper of the purse, saying that the citizens' lives must be compromised and the coffers must be protected at all costs. As a matter of fact, there is a statute, which is the 2013 Public Debt Management Act, that empowers the Minister of Finance by virtue of Section 9 and in pursuant to Section 10, subsection F of that statute, to provide funding in the interest of national security. And I see no reason why the public should sit by and allow for persons who are elected to tell them that there is an inability to provide the resources for the security forces to safeguard any citizen of this country. That's a dereliction of duty. And I believe that you would have had a copy of it, and it is interesting for the public to see it.
Yes, I will show them that. I will show them this. All right. And I needed to run over it for me, right? All right. Make us make you run over it for me. Right. All right. Okay. This is it, right?
Yes.
All right. It there? The authority to raise loan for on behalf of the government based solely in the minister. Oh, so this tell you everything. Everything in line out, everything right here, right?
The Minister of Finance. And look at what Section 10, subsection F speaks to.
F. This one. To finance activities required in the interest of national security.
Indeed.
Oh.
And that can be done without without any breach being committed by the Minister of Finance.
Oh.
So I see no reason why the force should be short of any implement or instrument or vehicles or equipment, so to speak. When there is a provision in law, prior to now, to 2013, we did not have that in place. So now that we have that in place, we are not to sit down and accept the mediocrity approach to crime fighting and crime management. Crime management is something that is vested. It has varying components that we have to look at and take seriously. If it is that Jamaica is to move in terms of growth from the minuscule GDP growth, we have to take security seriously in this country. It cannot be a piecemeal approach, and I will say that every opportunity that I get to implore upon the public to stop accepting the mediocrity handling of national security.
All right, because you're outspoken bad enough people. Yes, in the play, just state as is. Because you're an outspoken police, right? 30 years. I saw them attack you from all angles, even some personal stuff on some radio station or something. What are you doing about that?
Sufficing to say,
somewhere around here.
Sufficing to say that it is members of the constabulary force who has hatched this so-called allegation, along with a particular media house. They will have their day in court, for sure. I have given instruction to my legal team, and that matter is being pursued vigorously.
All right, let me ask the next thing now about body camera, because I heard the minister, national security minister, mention about body camera. In 2019, them say, you have this and body camera going. I think the past commissioner mentioned about body camera. What up with that? And you support body cameras, right? But when was it coming to be? What's up with that?
I have at all material times spoken out in support of the members of the constabulary force being equipped with the necessary gadgets to include body cameras. What persons don't even realize is that the body cameras are what it is that will enable trust to be developed between the citizenry and the members of the constabulary force. When allegations are made, then the evidential material captured can be on display for all to see. And nobody will have to be at cross purposes, because the truth must float and persons must be held accountable if they flout the law or breach. So I believe that I have said enough when it comes on to the force being properly resourced, and that I believe my biggest disappointment, though, is that civil society, to include the INDICOM as well as the private sector organization of Jamaica, has not seen it fit to. They have seen it fit to comment on certain issues, and I say this especially when it comes on to PSOJ, because I have seen where I was criticized and ostracized by PSOJ. But when it comes on to resources being made available to the JCF, and I spoke out concertedly about it, they have yet to come out and to admonish the government and to demand that these things are put in place.
All right. The government
the hypocrisy, it is something that uh, I really have to, at times, not to overthink, but to say that Jamaica has lost its vision. Whereas I'm in my youthful days, I used to see persons to include the churches, the civil society groups coming out, holding persons accountable. It seems as if accountability is of no moment, of no moment in Jamaica again, and everybody can do a free for all when it comes on to public institutions.
Mm. Mm. All right. I heard this government said them spend the most money on national security. The most. Them do the most and everything. But I see lack of a lot of things. No vehicle, no station, don't have even vehicle to patrol. Like in St. Thomas, like out in St. Thomas when I talk about it and them get a vehicle now. I think somebody called me and said them get a one vehicle. But let's say about that, because them say them spend the most money, but we know so the force lack of a lot of things. What do you take on it?
Let me say this to you. The truth be told is that there has been an injection of significant capital. However, given the fact that the organization has been defunded over a period of time, and because of the high debt that the country has racked up, enough attention was not being given to the constabulary force. And to see where we are now in terms of resource adequacies, the inadequacies still prevail, and it is still at a detriment to not only the members of the constabulary force, but the service delivered to the people of Jamaica. And that is why I said that there needs to be a holistic approach taken by the Minister of Finance when it comes on to using the proviso entrenched in law. If you don't believe that what is enacted in law is, I believe that you should take a leave and allow for the people to elect those who have that vision and foresight to utilize all the various statutes in their preservation of their peace and security and economic empowerment.
I noticed too, you just mentioned the PSOJ, but a lot of them, so politician attack you, radio personnel attack you, the hierarchy attack you, just to do your job. What you say about that? And then as a chairman for the bank and file, you really stand up for your people.
Let me say this to you, Wayne. And I said it before, and I will say it again. The institution that I attended and got my secondary education, I hold that motto engraved on that wall. That is the St. Elizabeth Technical High School. And the motto, work and integrity. At no material times it says compromise. And that is what I have hold best to my heart and will continue to be true to the people that entrusted me to lead them. It cannot be that you are entrusted to lead people and the only thing that you can go to the table to do is to sacrifice them. And when you see what the members of the constabulary force are going through, and for them to be going through those phases and to be putting on a face to be serving the people of Jamaica, I don't think as the citizens of this country really knows half of what goes into the human being and the mind of a member of the constabulary force in giving service to them. And we have to be serious about those who continue to serve as security personnel, because sufficing to say, most persons don't even know that police is an acronym because they see it as a word, but it's it means public officials or public officer in charge of legal investigation and criminal emergency. So that is where I believe that most persons don't even understand that your practitioners out there are really the buffer between criminal elements and law-abiding citizens. And we should take the opportunity to ensure that we win hearts and minds and allow for good sense to prevail. The humanitarian ambassadors that we are, we should be able to impact lives more than what it is that I'm seeing right now. But with political interference and undertone at every step of the way, I've never seen that level of interference in the organization as it is now. And I am not afraid to say it as it is, because if a minister can sit and look in my face and tell me that I'm a PNP, and he will use politics to fight me, and I'm seeing that effort on all fronts, then I'm not going to hold back any longer and to be submissive to the space where I allow those who are elected to interfere with the office that I serve and the people for whom I should be serving. They believe that they can put me on the shelf. Hell no.
Wow.
All gloves off.
So you know, so something very, 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 that very touching people, right? The minister, it's the current minister, national security minister you're speaking, right? That's the one, the current minister. Say you're a PMP, so he may use politics to fight you. He may label you as a PMP. Because when what that mean, this means something else to me. That means these people are in hierarchy. That means it's just one set of people instead of them a police, them doing some politics here. Because Mr. people get promotion, but that means you have to get promotion depend on your stature.
In matter of fact, I can say this without any fear of contradiction. When the court ruled on the 17th of November last year, the 24th of November, I was in my attorney's office, and a prominent member of parliament came in that office, and he did not hide it. He made it abundantly clear that it is their view that I am politically aligned, and that is why I am being sent a strong message.
What? This body people, so the government of the day, I use politics, because if you talk, remember, we're supposed to hold government accountable. And by the way, the police force supposed to separate it from the government. You're not supposed to be, although the army, but the police to be police to the policing. Because if the prime minister wrong, he's not supposed to do micromanage.
It goes further than that, At that meeting,
who charged them?
As a matter of fact, I remember in that meeting with the Minister of National Security, when that comment was made, the Minister of Finance had sent out a missive to indicate to the members of the Constabulary Force rank and file that they should hold me accountable because I did not respond to their counter offer regarding the compensation review. And when I advised the Minister of National Security that I had responded, and the minister should check his office before he seeks to be divisive in his conduct. One member of my team, in the presence of the minister, said that she would move a no confidence motion against me to remove me as chairman. Efforts were made to take over the compensation review by the then commissioner of police, and I stood my ground. So the level of victimization, I'm used to it, and it is by no means because I'm quiet. It doesn't mean that I'm submissive. because all that is happening is that these people believe that when they are given the privilege by the people to lead, that they should abuse and to victimize. But the Charter of Rights doesn't afford them that right to take away your fundamental right to associate or to even remove a vote that you will have if an election is to be called, or to have a view as to what party you believe is best aligned to what you see as a vision and share as a vision. Uh, the abuse, I don't see any citizen should be abused in any shape or form by politically elected representatives and appointees in the parliament. A matter of fact, the oath of office that they have taken is that they will ensure that they protect the constitutional rights of every citizen. So I am not going to be one that will sit and allow for the travesty of justice to continue. No, every citizen deserves to be treated with the ultimate respect. Whether you are on the shores of Jamaica or offshore, you are still a citizen of Jamaica, and that respect must be upheld.
Let me ask you something then. So, when Peter Bunting was the National Security Minister, you book up anything like this before?
A
Like
matter of fact,
politics with the police, with you people, or anything like this? Peter Bunting as a National Security Minister, because this one definitely and them a play politics. You ever book up anything like this before?
never. A matter of fact, when Senator Bunting was the Minister of National Security, he used to receive a lot of sticks from me. Uh, Same demand for the resources, but one thing that he would normally do is to ensure that he sits and seeks to prioritize the areas of the resources and the availability of funding, so that we would not be at cross purposes, because we would identify the best approach to spend the little that was available at that time. And I'm speaking about from when he was at the Ministry of National Security. That level of involvement and camaraderie with the Federation normally obtains. And I verily believe that he continued on that vein even when he's in opposition.
Mm. Because I heard him him get up and make a speech the other day at a hotel. When them remove the chairmanship from you, because I see that is them aim to get you silent, right? And I saw them invite Mr. Bunting. And then came there to speak and Patro get up on that Patro, he might try to burn you out. So me have to ask you and Patro have something in common. Why this man fighting against you? Come and, all gloves up and write the name attack. Patro. Yes.
You see, I've never compared myself as a leader to any other leader, and I refuse to do that. Eagles fly high. Eagles fly high. And when you're a visionary, you don't compare yourself to persons who seeks to even want to put you down. That in and of itself would be an indictment on my part to even entertain the thought of allowing persons to arrest my mind and peace of mind in any shape or form. I had a role to play, and I believe that I would have done justice to the rank and file members, and even to the point where as the rank and file membership only have themselves to blame for any anything that would have impact their their income, because they allowed persons who wanted champagne only for a few and not pure drinking water for everyone. So they allowed those persons to impact the outcome of the intended goal that we set out to achieve. And I take the opportunity to salute um, the former president of the Jamaica Teachers Association, Lasanya Harrison. She was as she was very astute, and we worked the maths. We can't have persons who are trained, competent, and efficient at our disposal, and we continue to make the same mistake over and over, and then we point fingers at government to say that government refused to, when we had it all at our disposal to make that request, stand our ground, and to get what is our due bounty, and we kick it over because of persons with their political innuendos. It is time we put aside politics for the greater good of well-being and welfare, and so that we can advance the whole human race. We can't. I believe that some of these persons um, who are working still allow themselves to be enslaved mentally, and the time has come for them to free themselves from mental slavery. Um, Bob Marley said, "None but ourselves can free our mind," and I believe wholeheartedly. If when you look at the due diligence that went into us trying to get proper remuneration for both the teachers and the police, and it is the very persons who were entrusted by the people to lead the charge on their behalf, sacrifice them because of personal gains. It hurts. It hurts
Because of personal gain and political motivation.
because they believe that champagne for a few
Oh.
is what is vested, and because they are out there collecting goodies from ministers, meeting with ministers, being able to sit at table with ministers. I don't need that. I need to be able to um, earn my living without encumbrances.
Mm.
I don't need special favors. I need to be properly compensated for the risk associated with the profession. But some persons believe that they should, under the pretense of service to the membership, um, move ahead and deceive the members.
Mm. Let me ask you something now. With the crime and violence statistic going up, I just saw something come out in the paper telling us some stupid little figures. Just last night again, I had two couple shot, one in St. Elizabeth, couple died, husband and wife, and the next couple in Westmoreland. Then you have the 8 where you shoot up, you have the 17 where get shoot up, all kind of things. But the national security minister want to come out and say them are rubbish things and the police are work and crime gone down. But US say no, crime rampant and it's terrible. What's your take on the crime and how the government view crime? Tell them hiding some statistics. Your view on that.
While it is that I cannot speak to the veracity of the figures being hidden, what I can say is that I will say to the powers that be that the members of the rank and file and the auxiliaries, they are available to be dispatched for duties in the various communities, and the since the court has made a determination that a system should be put in place to capture hours worked by the members, we ought not to be seen geographical spaces being void of policing, and for policing to be able to forge that relationship. The court has afforded the organization an opportunity to be able to deploy the membership, and we should not have gatekeepers seeking to deprive the citizens of proper policing and to be placing the citizenry at risk. That is where I will leave it for the public to deduce the facts at hand.
When they're diplomatic, very diplomatic. Our observe, attack people, attack with the future commissioner. Yes? Yeah, Corporal Rohan James, the future commissioner of police. Yes. Yes. The real policing, not the political, puppet thing, right? All right. Tell me something though. Let me talk back something on the radio station, because when you have a radio station, I spread something say you go political meeting and you have an about. A matter of fact, I did saw a picture with you having a watch and the right hand or something. But I think that was a Photoshop. But you can give me a little rundown on that thing there. Yeah, because it started 2007 and 2000 and this, and that have nothing to do with you and your interdiction. But they might try cast doubt in the people here, in diaspora in Jamaica against you. Political witch hunt. Your take on it?
I've never been one to wear political paraphernalia, and I've seen the imagery, and I've given instruction to my attorneys, and I'm sure that persons will be held accountable. I'm hoping that their pockets are tall and that they will be able to meet whatever the court determined that is a reasonable compensation for damage or damages.
You see that? So if you're wearing, remember to touch on this because I want to play a video with you, right? But we can touch on this. So if you're wearing a watch on the right hand, right? You ever wear watch on your right hand before?
Never, ever. Never, ever, ever.
And a political, attack.
I've in my 50 years of existence on this land, I've never ever worn political paraphernalia.
All right. We can play a video there. What about it. We have a couple of videos we want to show you. We want to dissect something. This is one of them.
Mr. Glenford Miller, Assistant Commissioner of Police, representing the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Christopher Phillips, Senior Superintendent of Police, in charge of the St. Catherine South Division, Mr. Shane McCullough, Superintendent in charge of the Manchester Division, Ms. Josette Garden, First Vice President of the United District Constables Association, and it is to be noted that Senior Superintendent Phillips is also a member of the Police Officers Association. Members of my Central Executive Committee, our songbird, the choir, the best choir in the world, family members, friends, viewers, good morning.
Morning.
It is with a bittersweet that I stand here this morning on behalf of the Jamaica Police Federation and the rank and file cohort to pay homage to the life of a colleague, a brother, a friend, number 9177 Constable Damien Blair, who has lost his life tragically. And to say to the family, yes, we are indeed broken, but all hope is not gone. And we want to commend you to hold through to God's faith and unchanging hand, because God is always in the midst, standing with us. It is important that I also say to you, thank you for loaning him to the Jamaica Constabulary Force, and for him being an agent of change. He has paid the ultimate sacrifice because of his humility to humanity. It is oftentimes that in the midst of practicing our craft as law enforcement practitioners, we are confronted with a number of elements, some that may lead to our demise. It is also important that I remind my colleagues in the execution of their duties and in preservation of their own well-being that they need to be more protective of self, and they do not have to be injured and maimed before they take preemptive strike in the defense of their own lives and well-being. This morning, as I stand here, I reflect on the work, worth, and conduct of Constable Blair, who has served this country, giving 24 human years of service and sacrifice, one that was filled with integrity, sobriety, and all the dignity that was in him, he accorded to every citizen and to colleagues in the dispensation of his interaction with us. I want to say this at this point, that the Federation is tired of enduring with our membership abuse that may oftentimes lead to our demise. Shifting focus. The Federation is saying to our colleagues, let Constable Blair's demise be the last that ended in such a manner. Be on your best guard. Stand up, stand tall, use your training. It doesn't mean that you have to let family or anyone maim or harm you. Do what you must. I also want to say to our High Command and Councils of Deputies that the Federation is not going to be muzzled, intimidated, nor bamboozled. We negotiate with government, not with High Command. The Council of Deputies have no moral authority to tell us what to do when a court orders that we are to be paid overtime work and for service, that they should put in place a mechanism to capture hours so that the membership can be paid. I am not going to negotiate with High Command. Let the record be made clear that the battle lines have been drawn. Speak to the court. I also want to say to the High Command that the Council of Deputies must focus on their areas assigned to them and to leave the issue of capping hours work, because this federation that I lead is not going to be submissive to the place where rank and file membership leaves the citizens of Jamaica compromised in their safety. It will never happen under my watch, mark my word. And I also want to say to High Command and to our Commissioner, God helps you if the membership is not paid their overtime come this month. I am tired of the abuse being meted out and believing that persons can call me to intimidate me. I have not seen the man nor woman that is going to lead me into fear so that I will retreat from doing what the membership have asked of me to do. When I was elected, it is because I have the capacity, the will, and the power to do it. We are entrenched in law as a police federation body, and nobody is going to compromise it. Politics nor nothing will come in the path of the execution of the federation's rule. Bear that in mind. I'm sure Dr. Notice has never seen me in the building before, but oftentimes I will take a few moments to come in to have my spiritual empowerment in this same temple. And I want to say to our country, our citizenry, that the Police Federation has your best interest at heart. And I will not sit by and allow any incompetencies, ineptness to prevail at the detriment of the lives of the men and women who is to serve you and to serve us and to pay any regard to us being derelict in our function in serving our membership so that they can serve you. Bear that in mind. To the families, take heart, take counsel. We are hurting, you are hurting. But in the midst of every adversity, they are underscoring some lines that we can take comfort from. Blair was in fact an ambassador of humanity. And if ever there's a time that we can use him and extrapolate from his conduct and goodwill, is that we embrace his memory and legacies and continue to walk good, do good, live good, and let that reward be a blessing. Walk good, my brother. Heaven today would have gained a beautiful soul. May you walk in peace and may light perpetually shines upon you, where one day we'll meet where all will be equal at the foot of the cross.
Bless, brother. Bless, man. Bless. No, that is a powerful feature, brother. Very powerful. And but this is what the gloves are for them, because you talk to them this way and tell them if they just butt out and you are deal with the government.
At the foot of the altar, boss.
Yes.
I was at the foot of the altar. So I made sure to leave it at the foot of the altar.
Well, I'm married up online, you know. Married online, so you know, you have to ask her 2 questions, you know, so Maria have to run coming at this right away, you know. Because the place hot, you know. Now it comes off. But say really talk to them up there. Real police, yes, future commissioner of police. Maria,
Commissioner James, good evening.
Good evening, madam. How are you doing?
I am good, my brother. How are you? Boy, it is so refreshing to hear sensible talk about policing. It is just so refreshing. But you know, I'm listening to that speech that Wayne was playing, which was what got you into the space that you're in. And I want to ask the JCF, how is it working for them now that you are on interdiction? Because the very thing that you spoke out about for their benefit is the very thing that they're experiencing. And they both, you see, this is the thing, you know, they didn't stand up for you. They cannot lock up all 12,000 or how many of them that you are representing. And they to see that they did not stand up with you is disheartening. And so the seeds that they sow, they're reaping the fruits thereof. So they will never be taken seriously. And when you have people who know police work, who know what good policing is about and how it's supposed to be done, who know that policing is not, crime is not, you cannot fight crime, you have to manage it. And they put him on interdiction. It tells you everything you need to know about the governance structure in Jamaica right now, as well as the governance structure of the JCF. And, you know, I pray for the day when there's a change of administration and another administration take you seriously and put you in the space that you're supposed to be. Because you're not supposed to be out there with that kind of mind, know-how, and skill set while you're watching Lily Birds run the JCF. You have a national security minister whose name is in WikiLeaks, and then you understand why the whole law enforcement is the way it is. But my question to you, Chairman James, is this: why are police in Jamaica not wearing body cameras?
Lack of accountability.
So
those who are in charge, and I speak from the ministerial level to the High Command, must endeavor and ensure that the body cameras are procured and made available to every single member going out there on duty. The court would be so empowered if it is that we make the public officers on the bench and the prosecutors uh, avail themselves to the evidential values of what is captured on these body cameras, it would have made our days in the court much more shorter but useful.
So another question, have they procured them as yet, or there is no policy in the JCF for them to procure it and ensure that it is worn? So is is it a sense that they buy them and they're sitting there, or they have not purchased them as yet, and there's nobody to put forth the argument to say these need to be purchased and put into use?
There's an insufficiency. And I overheard the minister on a program stating that body cameras are not high on the agenda.
Okay, so that explains why it is where it is right now. Now, how do you see the JDF and the JCF working together? Is that a policy that is beneficial in the management of crime, in dealing with crime, and short-term, medium-term, long-term? Do you see any purpose in having the JDF working with the Jamaica Constabulary Force?
That's an excellent question, because during my policing years, we have always been working with the JDF. And I believe that at some stage the JDF is underutilized, because normally what would happen is that the reach by which we would impact the citizenry is far beyond a state of emergency or SOE. We would be out in the communities, and we would be participating and getting the citizens' cooperation, instead of being and not bashing the government's policies, but I'm simply saying that when you static the resources that you say that is limited, it is cutting the optimal level at which you optimize the very little and make the most of what you have. I believe that when you leave citizens at the mercy of criminal elements, it forces persons looking on to even go and pick up a weapon in protection of their own lives and families and otherwise. So it is important to maximize the resources. I believe that when we have the ability to move across the various communities, it is much more impactful than when it is that we are static and we are seeing the commission of crime, various breaches of the law, and we are unable to respond appropriately.
Okay. And looking into another area, there has been quite a few drug busts, cocaine busts, millions of dollars, valuing millions and billions of dollars, as a matter of fact. Now, the latest one in Havendale, they say they identified 5 persons. But I have to ask you, Chairman James, based on your knowledge and and your experience and all of that, which group of persons would be most likely to be the persons responsible for bringing in that kind of drug in those quantities, in that quantity, as well as the guns that follow? Because wherever drugs follow, guns follow, and sex trafficking follow. So what group of persons would be considered the high crime producer, the crime producers that would facilitate that amount of drugs coming into the country?
$12 billion.
With the emerging threat that currently faces this country, the only persons that are capable of doing so are those in the echelon of society that has the resources at their disposal. And it is full time that the microscope, if we are to reach anywhere meaningful in law enforcing the laws, that we seek to make no safe haven for criminal elements, whether you're up in the echelon of society or you are in the inner city.
Good.
Every citizen should have a claim of right in Jamaica to be at peace, to be able to move about without being endangered by either those who are taking drugs, selling drugs, or illicitly enriching themselves. We have to ensure that accountability is placed first and foremost on the table. The truth is, if only we can adapt and emulate the Burkina Faso uh, president's
Yes.
vision, Ibrahim Traore. I believe that if we emulate that man's vision, Jamaica can turn around its economic status within the next 2 years if we are serious about doing business and safety and security of our people.
Go back.
Yes.
Go. I'm Maria. I could just go back with the same cocaine boss, right?
Yes.
With the arrests, because them say 5 man, them arrested 5 man. You ever think? No, this is not about somebody identify, put an identified problem. But ever hear anybody get as a police when you arrest a person, if you arrest a person with stolen goods or with drugs or with gun, what you do? You hide them from the public for like 2 weeks and no book or nothing like that. Or you charge them same time. You don't put them the identification period. They're supposed to get charged, right? When you hold people like this.
I know that persons are normally charged, but then again, I am not at liberty because I know that there is always communication between the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution that enables guidance as to the gaps and the inadequacies that must be addressed in order to bring about a substantive case before the court. So I don't know what may have transpired in that regard.
So make I ask you something. If you hold some actors with 12 billion, let me put it back the way again. 12 billion with a B, billion dollar worth of drugs at a home. All these drugs and you catch people at that home. With the police, the powers were being, you don't have these people and charge them, don't it? No care what happened. You know, wait till 3 weeks or 4 weeks because you have them even for cut deal and get down some other big people. But
Unless
yes.
and you have characterized it properly, unless it is that there are other deep dives that are taking place that we are not seized of. But I believe that public trust and confidence is what is important, but it doesn't mean that you have to compromise the interest of the people's matter that must be placed before the competent jurisdiction, which is the court. I say this against the backdrop that expediency should not compromise the vested interest of jurisprudence. It is that everybody should have an equal opportunity, innocence until proven guilty, as well as have appropriate representation to present themselves in court and to be able to mount a defense. So there are a number of moving parts that I'm not privy to, that I could give a specific answer that would say this, yes, charges must be laid, that is one, but I believe that there has been and must have been some moving parts in between that we are not aware of that will no doubt come to light at some stage. once we continue to follow this matter.
Right, because them charged 5 people just last Friday, and they put them into court. We don't hear nothing else like some follow up, some other thing. Just them
They,
charge
they,
them and them have a court case.
from what I understand is that the 5 persons were remanded,
Yes.
and I guess not preempting the remand. It must have been that there is some further investigation across cross borders taking place,
That's bad.
because with the volume of narcotics that was seized,
Mm-hmm.
I believe that it requires some cross-border cooperation, and from that perspective, um, I believe that further investigation is taking place.
But make I ask you something again and then carrying back Maria. The same thing with SSL, but a one lady alone miss them arrest up to the date, and them at resolve about all kind of things, resolve about things and do all kind of things. But nobody else get arrested in a SSL. Same thing over St. Catherine, over when them lick on the house, one lady alone get arrested, and then we don't hear nothing else. Because them say a group and them say gang. So I don't understand how the JCF working. So, you know, I'll observe. So I'm gonna ask a question. Because SSL now, them a wrap it up, you know, and them charge one lady, and I know no big boy touch. Them come with 12 billion now. No big boy touch. Some people, maybe some garden and something, them get charged. Over there, so the woman that sell land, and that's, well, them say a gang, but a one lady get charged. And they're gonna hear nothing else. What's
Let
going on?
Let me be blunt. It is time politicians stick to policies and leave operations to put the security forces.
Thank you. That me I look for. Maria?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad he said that because, you know, the truth is crime benefits a few, poverty benefits a few. If they really wanted to manage the crime situation and get it under control, then they would put in place policies that would help to curtail crime, because you cannot address the crime problem without addressing poverty and the lack of proper education. But moving on to something else, which is very pressing in Jamaica, and it has to do with sex trafficking, the abuse of children and women. Jamaica has a very high femicide rate. What policies, Chairman James, do you think could be put in place to, one, help stem that kind of problem, and two, to, you know, find those people? Because all those people who are missing, you know, missing children, women, femicide, all of that. How do you think that situation can be handled?
Let me say this to you. Human trafficking is of grave concern, and anybody who watched the indicators from the International Human Rights Group, you will see whereas they continue to make it an issue and call upon countries, as per listing, to do more to prevent human trafficking. I believe that, one, we have to have a concerted effort of a task force that enables ongoing investigation, search, and rescue missions in relation to these youngsters that are going missing. We have to continue to be robust in our borders, in ensuring that constant operations take place, and we have to ensure that persons are held accountable. I say this against the backdrop that you are not to have youngsters missing from a children's home and nobody is held accountable. It's a 9-day wonder. Uh, that is an unforgivable sin, and that is why I will continue to say, as a citizen of this country, that accountability matters most.
That is so true. But you know, you hit the nail on the head, Chairman James, that no child should go missing from a children's home, because that structure was set up for the purpose of protecting children who are not safe in their home space, first of all. So if you take them out of their home space and put them in the state, and the state still cannot protect them, therein lies a bigger problem. And people should be held accountable for the abuse and neglect of children within state care. You know, looking at other, just say, looking at a long-term plan for crime management in Jamaica. What role do you see community playing in helping to curtail crime in Jamaica? Because a lot of it has to do with community violence.
It goes back again to where I started when I said that I believe that the court have leveraged an order that, if complied with, and you have enough resources to interact with the communities, to be able to have not only officers policing the areas, but you would have covert operations taking place. So at all material times, you would be in the know. We cannot continue. Is either we are operational, or we are the financial gurus slash vis-a-vis the minister of finance, but we cannot detain the people from effective policing and policing services at the behest of saying government cannot afford to provide these resources to include proper policing of communities. That is what it redounds to. It is time we understand that we are the practitioners and we have to carry out these operations and interaction with the citizenry. I can say this without any fear of contradiction. During my interaction with the persons in Augusta, one of the things that was very much pronounced is that the stakeholders, to include the social development field officers, the persons who from the non-government organization that normally act as violence interrupters,
PMI.
PMI, those persons had they played some pivotal role with the police. I believe that what persons fail to underscore is that the issue of crime and criminality, there is a dollar value to it, and I don't believe that we have placed enough emphasis on being analytical and underpinning what needs to be done in those areas and what needs to be retained for from the measure of success that you identify. That and if there were no accountability, it should have been that we put in place the mechanism to ensure accountability on all front. If we are expending monies without anything to show in return, then it means that somebody should be held accountable because enough proactive measures and steps were not put in place in hindsight. In hindsight, leadership is what matters. And you have to be a visionary to foresee the challenges, whether it be global or regional or local. You have to have the right balance of persons in the right fit. It cannot be a political mindset that you put persons per se square pegs in round hole. You can't do that. You have to put the right fit persons with the capability and the will to do what is necessary. Friend and company don't run business. That's a recipe for disaster and failure.
Let me ask you something now. When you become the commissioner, what's the first day of duty going to be? First line of duty.
It would be to meet with staff, and to ensure that I outline the vision that I am coming to the fold with. Uh, it is a broad vision, and it would entail meeting with the most senior aspect of management, and then I would definitely be meeting with the representational bodies, because this is where the, the cream of the crop of what it is that the vision that I would be bringing to the fold in terms of execution of the plans. These persons are key in ensuring that the messages are taken and spread across the board, and persons understand what my positions are and what our positions are and what the team goal would be like.
So you would be a commissioner with hands and deck. You go around. You meet people same way. You meet the staff. Meet everybody. You go in
My
community same way. Talk to people and everything.
my door would be an open door policy, because I need to be in the know, and it contrary to what even though you would see persons having a schedule to say, all right, appointments are, my position is that I am the servant, not the master. So once I occupy the servant position, it's an open door for all. It is that I should be able to hear and to take appropriate steps. And if it is that I have to give directive, then I do so. If it is something that I have to treat with once and for all, it must be dealt with. But I would endeavor to have an open door policy. Go to my managerial team and my foot soldiers.
Yeah. So, Chairman James, I have to ask this question. How can the tide of police brutality be stemmed in Jamaica?
Respect for humanity.
So
Respect for humanity. I believe that in my interaction, I, in my earlier years, I had an encounter which taught me a valued lesson. And it was that I was on an operation and I was able to, I was on duty. I had an encounter with an individual, and my action was not in keeping. And notwithstanding the ridicule that the people were ridiculing the gentleman, I apologized to him. May God rest his soul, he is not alive with us today. But we were friends ever since then. And the lessons taken from that was that the afternoon that I encountered him, the following evening, he was a witness that was valued to us. And when he was questioned, he made it abundantly clear that yours truly was a very firm hand, and he would not be telling any lies for me. And I appreciated and I lauded him for it, because uh, if I had taken a different stance where I was macho and believed that I was above and beyond apologizing for my action and inappropriateness, then I don't believe that I would have learned the valued lessons that I have learned today. And it teaches me humility. It teaches me that when you are humble, you get so much done in the scheme of things in interacting with the public. Because I can tell you, even with motorists, they would tell you that when I'm around, I don't have to be in uniform to enforce the law. And I normally say to them that if you refuse to comply, then it means that you have something for the government. So go and give the government what you have for them. I'm going to ensure that you are properly prosecuted.
So I'm listening to I'm listening to Chairman James speak that way, and I have to ask him a follow-up question in that. Given the amount of abuses, police brutality you see right now, Chairman James, what percentage of those officers are held accountable for their actions and their brutality of the Jamaican citizens.
Maria, I wouldn't be able to pronounce on that because imperatively that is out of my scope. It is within the remit of the Indicom. That's the Independent Commission of Investigation, and the and IProbe. So and for the High Command. So that is totally out of my remit because I have not done any investigation, interact with any of the investigations, so to speak. So I wouldn't be able to discern, and I would not want to place any fallacies in the public's domain.
Right. Well, okay, another thing. The government says they spend the most money on law enforcement in the history of Jamaica, in the history of the world. Nobody has spent more money on law enforcement in Jamaica. Has it been translating on the ground in real time? Is it that their perception and the reality are not matching up, or how can their perception and their reality become the same thing, given that they say that they have spent the most money on law enforcement? And if so, what areas should the money be spent on so it is more visible to the ordinary man?
Again, as I said before, you joined earlier, I believe that yes, there has been a concerted effort to invest in the organization. However, I believe that there is a statutory provision for the Minister of Finance to act in the interest of national security to provide all the available resources required by the organization, and that the citizenry of this country ought not to allow for the Minister of Finance to get away with excuses, but for him to put his mouth where the money lies. There are a number of areas that are lacking in resources. There are conditions that are inhumane not only to members of the public and the members of the organization. It is that we ought to make a concerted effort to radically improve upon the aesthetics of the organization and the amenities that we have.
Yes. So Maria, we have around 2 minutes left with Corporal James, the chairman James, but hear this now.
Appreciate the opportunity.
Yes, hear this now, Maria. What we say, because me I say, me as a chairman, me as a chairman, but we as a commissioner. Because I'm the commissioner now. What you will say, Maria?
That is what we know. We are calling into being Rohan James being the next commissioner of police. It is high time police with expertise and the skill set to do the job be put in those positions. He came up through the rank. He has the know-how. He has the skill set. Put the man in the job to do it. It is not about putting like he said, friend company don't run business. Colonialism and nepotism has to stop. It is high time the interest of the Jamaican people be at the forefront of everything that government does.
I'm not gonna put something to that, right? Because some people here say, like you said, corporate, and you have some guy say them a sergeant, and some say them a inspector, and some say them a deputy soup, assistant soup, deputy soup, senior soup, assistant commissioner. They may run off them out, but I can tell them this. Now, as a chairman, the rank and file over 12,000, remember? He have more respect and come and do more things than them. Because as a chairman, it give the one of that, what you call it now? It give that broadness to deal with everyone. Because you're the chairman, over 12,000 members, right?
As a chairman, when he's a union rep,
Yes, I know.
He has to make sure every aspect of their life work is a balance. Life work balance.
Yes. So him is different from the commissioner right now. The commissioner look over the workforce and then does him know what to depend it. And they all over. A matter of fact, can you move from station to station sometime and in a meet with government and him have to back for everybody. The commissioner himself then no meet with no government like that every day, you know. He must have to do this, he must have up and down all over the place. All over the place he take you, right?
Indeed. One of the things that I need to put in perspective, a budget presented is not essentially money expended. A budget presented and figures looking spooky and spicy is not monies expended. And when you talk about expending monies on national security, there are two forces. The public can deduce from that.
Because you have one of them, the government to come and say we spend money, but yes, they must spend money, them say we are repair the most police station and building out police station, so it take a lot of money. But we still the police station and them say we buy the most vehicle and we still see police and the vehicle. We still the past member, national security member, give some money like what 400 million for some car, and I know the money there. When they get the car them yet? The force get those cars yet? No man, our gloves off, but like ask question, you know. Right? The force get those cars yet?
I'm not sure. Not sure.
But I check and what I we come up the force don't receive those cars yet. Money still outstanding, cars still outstanding. The force also get something Japan. From Japan, some them that donate some ambulances and some money to the force. Them get that when you see the thing like that afloat around ambulances or something.
No, I've not observed any ambulances being.
All these things, I'm right. You might hear some big spicy money. We spend the most money, but spend it on what?
Sufficing to say though, before we go, the time has come for there needs to be a reality check and for persons to understand the depth of national security, the intricacies that goes into ensuring that safety and security stands out paramount to everyone. And for us, if we are going to impact the future of our youngsters, we have to ensure that we put the monies into national security and education. We have to ensure that our youngsters don't feel a sense that they will have to leave the shores. They can make their mark right here and they are successful. I would have said in the past that one of the greatest assets that would attribute to the JCF is human resource capacity. And if you cannot treat that human resource capacity with the ultimate respect and give the resources to include the emolument for retention, due regard, then you would have failed in hindsight as the leader or leaders in governance, so to speak. So it is time for that significant move and mark to be made, and for persons to stop playing lip service and playing around with national security and the lives of the people of this country.
Yes. All right.
Okay.
All right. What we care about for part two, because we're gonna give them everything one time, because we got more than 1.5 hours. Knockings, right, people? When we say knockings, I read knockings. Gloves off. And what we carrying back?
Yeah.
What we care about the future commissioner.
God bless you. God bless you, Chairman James, and you have a wonderful weekend. And we know we will speak again. And I'm always here rooting for you to be the commissioner of police, because that's a job you're qualified to have.
My pleasure. The service to the citizens of this country is always a pleasure for me.
Yes.
Just as how I look to my family, I believe they are my extended families.
Bye-bye.
Yes. Blessings. Yes. All right, man. Blessings.
Enough respect. My brother.
Good night to everybody in the chat.
Yeah, man. Enough respect. Yeah. We're going to talk again. I'm out. All right. Bless up. Bless up.